Loretta Malloy, and I'm the co owner of the House of Compassionate Gratitude. And we are here today to talk about passion and purpose and what it means to understand that and to know that you are living your life in line with your purpose and your passion, and how to understand if you're not feeling that, how to get there. But before we do that, I want to ask you to see if there is a watch party option on this video with me. Because if there is, it's going to look like a little blue button that looks a little bit like popcorn to me. And I'm going to start that because I want to encourage people to join this call um, and to watch with us. So we're going to do it publicly on my feed. You can see that now. So hopefully you are watching. Left and right are so different on this. Anyways, there we go. I hope you join me. We can talk about that. If you join late, you can always go back and watch it again later, which would also be fun. And you can invite your friends, and I will check back later today and answer any questions that I don't get to during the live option if you're watching it later. Okay, so be sure to comment in the box if you have any questions, if you want to say hello, and I'll get to you just as quick as I can. So, your purpose in life. I get this question all the time. It comes up in conversations with friends because I have lots of friends who are always working to improve themselves and move forward, and that's part of that conversation. It comes up with work, both in the intuitive side of things, in the transitional coaching part of things, and also in the end of life part of things about, in that case, it's a little more reflectively what was my purpose. But today we're talking about when we're looking forward and wanting to understand our purpose, our mission, what we're supposed to be doing, and how to pursue that. So I want to start by saying that it's not usually one thing. Some people have one big thing, right? If you think back, historically speaking, you might think about someone like George Washington, right? One big purpose that we remember in the history books. But there were probably many other smaller purposes and missions going along that we don't know as much about because they weren't written about. But we have purpose in all of our relationships. We have purpose in all of our interactions. But right now we're talking about that draw of what am I supposed to be doing with myself. Some people might describe it as their career or their passion. Some people might describe it, like it might fall into more of that hobby kind of caveat where you have a regular day job and this is what you are passionate about outside of your work, and that's fine too. So it can come in a lot of places. But what we're going to address at the moment is how to know when you are acting in line with that. And I use the word passion, but it's come more and more relevant to me lately that some people don't resonate with the word passion. So I would also call it your drive, something you feel drawn to or encouraged to pursue. And I don't mean encouraged to pursue because your mom is going, oh, you'd be a great doctor 6 times a day for 15 years, because that's a different kind of being led there. It is about if you feel drawn to it. So think about a time when you met someone. It can be a new friend, it can be a peer or colleague, it could be somebody that you're in love with in a partnership way. But initially, there was likely some reaction between you that felt like a draw. It felt like, I want to know more about this person. There's something here that makes me go, what's this about? What am I feeling? And we can have that feeling about a lot of things. You could have the feeling about a recipe that someone shares on Facebook and you might not have never ever like looked at those ingredients and feel drawn to it. That is the same feeling of inquiry. Okay, you're feeling like I need to know more here. So an example of where there might be that inquiry and not immediately that burning desire to pursue it, for me personally, was when we started the process of passing. I honestly, the first thing I said to the friend who asked me if I did end of life care was, that's terribly sad. Why would I want to do that? And I'm very honest about it because my initial response was probably not as kind as I would have liked. And I certainly had no idea that it would be part of my purpose. But there was intrigue. I definitely felt inquisitive about the topic and about why it came into my awareness and why it kept coming into my awareness through little conversations or books or articles that I stumbled across for several months. And I started looking into it. I started being really interested in why is this coming up for me? So I started looking at it a little bit more. But the purpose part, the part that was inspiring, was when it affected my personal life. And somebody I care about had a medical event, and I realized that they were terrified to die, and I am not. And I wanted to understand that. So that's when the passion part became behind it. It got real personal for me. And I said, oh, I've got to fix this. I recognize a need, and I want to be the one to fix it. So you can see how something at first might just feel inquisitive, but not necessarily a burning desire to do anything with it. But I really like the example of people. When you meet somebody new and you think, what's she about? What's he about? And you invite them to coffee, or you repeatedly want to be back in their presence just to understand them better. That's the same thing with a life purpose or a mission. So if you see, I don't know, somebody knitting wonderful quilts, and you think, oh, Afghans, that is, and you think, oh, that would be really fun to do, and you feel encouraged to go out and get a ball of yarn. I'm not really sure what they call that. It's not a spool, I don't think, like thread. But anyways, you want to go out and get it, and you want to get the hooks, and you want to start trying, do it. You have to explore. Once something comes into your awareness and you say, what's this? You have to start exploring it. Your purpose and your passion don't typically fall in your lap and you suddenly become the world's greatest cellist. You have to have interest in it, and you start looking at it. You take some baby steps, and things start to lead the way. You start to get more signs. You start to get more encouragement. You start to build on that intrigue. It's kind of like falling in love, where you might have that lightning bolt where you are drawn to someone, but then you start to get to know them. And in theory, you start to love them more as you get to know them more, because you understand the intrigue from the beginning. So it's typically like that when we talk about purpose. So when people call me and ask about their purpose or their mission or their passion, it's not a magic bullet. It's not like I drop some cards and I'm like, you're supposed to be a doctor, so you need to go back to school. No, this is a conversation with yourself about, where do I feel drawn? Where do I feel connected? Where do I see something that I want to fix or make better or be a part of? I want to be part of the world's biggest knitting guild. I think that sounds great. We're going to be in Guinness Books of World Records. Okay, it might be that. It might be you feel really drawn to spend time with a particular grandchild, and there's a connection there, and you want to explore the world with them, and you want to make the world better for them. That's part of it too. So your purpose and your mission can really entwine with your life, and in theory, it should. It might also change your life. It might draw you somewhere else where you are now meeting new people, and you're inspired in new ways to be a part of that. So I want to encourage you to add your questions and let me know what you think about this. I see that Faith and Jennifer have joined us. Good morning. And if you have any thoughts on this, I'd love to really make this a discussion and a dialogue today. I've kind of covered my part of it. I've covered my notes. So what do you think about your purpose and your passion and how you pursue it and how you get there? I'd love to take your questions. If you don't feel comfortable putting them here on social media, you can absolutely write to me later, and I'll still take them for you and have a discussion about it. I'm trying to think of some other good examples of it. When it keeps popping up in front of you and it keeps coming back, the idea, the ads, the conversation, that's another sign that that's something you should be pursuing and seeing what's there for you. Okay, it's all about the discovery process and exploring when these things come into your awareness. And what do I mean about your awareness? That was a question that popped up here from the inbox. Anyway, so in your awareness, I mean, it's around you. You're seeing messages about it. You're seeing hearing conversations. People are bringing it up to you. You are walking through the store and there's a book about the topic. There's a documentary that comes up on your Netflix subscription. You're watching a movie and it's part of the theme. it just keeps coming back where you're seeing the topic over and over and over again, that's a sign that you might have something there. And it doesn't have to be one thing, it doesn't have to be one idea, one goal that you're pursuing. And it doesn't have to change the entire globe, it can change your world. It can change the world for one person. And that may still be part of your purpose and your passion and what you're here to do. But again, it comes back to exploring and being open to setting out and starting those conversations and starting learning a different kind of education sometimes. Um, that's all about how you travel through it. It's all about where it comes to you and how it feels. It's very much about how it feels. Good morning, Tracy. Um, you're going to want to go back and listen to this because I'm pretty much done. um, so let's see, what else did I put in my notes? Yeah, if you're ever, I guess what I'm going to say to wrap it up is if you are questioning, is this part of my purpose? Is this part of my passion? Sit with it for a minute and think, do I feel intrigued? Do I feel inspired to pursue this at all? It doesn't mean run right out and get your doctorate in it, but do I feel encouraged to have another conversation, to read a book about it, to learn more? And if the answer is no, and you don't want to develop it, and you don't really have um, the drive to even read an article about it or watch a new video or have a conversation, then it's probably not part of your purpose. If you're not feeling any intrigue or any interest, any draw to be more involved in it at all, it's probably not part of your passion or your mission here. It might be the job that keeps your lights on, and that's okay too. But that means you'd be exploring this passion and purpose outside of your professional career. And that's perfectly fine. Many people have careers that are over here, and their passion, part of their mission, is over here, and that's fine. It's even better when they get to mingle, but that isn't always the case. All right. So that's what I have this morning about passion and purpose. And again, I'd love to take your follow up, so feel free to reach out. Okay. Have a great day.